Mliswa continues to assault, character assassinate retired General Chiwenga. You would remember that Blessed Geza actually informed the people of Zimbabwe before Temba Mliswa began this project that Temba Mliswa had been paid to specifically take aim at retired General Chiwenga. And he is just doing exactly that, as we have been told. So he with his program of action to actually assassinate the general. And at the center of it, he wants to give an impression that retired General Chiwenga is also equally corrupt. Why is he doing so? It is quite obvious because retired General Chiwenga has been at the center of fighting against corruption. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. Hopefully you had a wonderful time at your church. Today we delayed our live broadcast because we had to start with God. Everything starts and begins with God. So let me read what he has actually written. It's a long essay. And that is why a lot of people have been saying these things are not written by Temba Mliswa. Someone writes for him. He has actually adopted this technique of writing very long and lengthy essays with the thrust of soiling retired General Chiwenga's name. I mean, whatever he writes, he calls it Sapus I. He said, forked tongue soiling the sanctity of the church. So he is not only targeting Chiwenga, but targeting also the church where retired General Chiwenga worship, and that is actually the Roman Catholic. He says, previously I stated how the St. Martin's land issue was a flagrant land grab with council officials being twisted through VP Chiwenga's office to take back land which was already sold to 320 residents. Here is more evidence of the same. One is in a letter by acting town clerk Mapena, conceding that they indeed sold the land to the 320 residents, and they now seek to terminate the agreement due to pressure from VP Chiwenga's office through the Minister of Local Government. The other one is a clear denial of involvement by the Roman Catholic Church through its bishops. The unequivocal statement is that the church has not shown interest and neither have thank you very much. Thank you very much. So it says you guys are disturbing me. Okay, it says the other one is a clear denial of involvement by the Roman Catholic Church through its bishops. The unequivocal statement is that the church has not shown interest and neither have they been offered the land. Hansi TCA atizibe zoland iyoyo. This makes the winding Charamba statement a carcass of lie and a contrived humbug. As for VP Chiwenga and his meetings with council officials, it becomes sheer abuse of power at the office, which should be resisted. For Harare's council officials, they should be aware that any criminal activity, even if compelled by higher offices, remains criminal and with zero on the individual who committed it. Ngozi inoyenda pane akaponda kwete akatuma. So Charamba is sheer windbag style, desperately sought to clothe his lies with dignity by inferences to Mugabe, but offered nothing to support the argument of ownership. Against the clear paper trail of the 320 residents, all he offered were stories about Mugabe's private spiritual zealotry to compensate his personal church with land. That, however, does not amount to anything of legal weight. Neither does it hoist the church to a special pedestal in relation to that land, as long as there are no papers bequeathing its rights. Today, the Roman Catholic has distanced itself from the deal and say they have nothing to do with it. They state they have neither shown interest in the land nor have they been offered it. It's a direct repeatal of Charamba's misguided zealotry for his political faction. Secondly, how can someone froth that land belongs to the Roman Catholic Church, deducting ownership from the innocent name tag of St. Martin's, which is actually a neighboring community? Otherwise, this is simply land in the vicinity of the actual St. Martin's. Corruption will always flourish as long as we have an unprincipled population that affixes tags of corruption only on those they hate and defend their political darlings, even when they are weighed down by the stench of corruption. I have been on the campaign trail against corruption long before VP Chiwenga and have nothing against him personally. All that I have insisted on is sincerity and not a forked tongue that pickles an anti-corruption campaign and yet engineers the same in secret. I raised the issue when the alleged dossier of corrupt individuals went around, how it was nothing more than a political stunt by a panicking politician who saw Takwirei as a rival to block. Once the gimmick failed to block the ascension, it was discarded because the agenda was never about corruption. The Roman Catholic has now distanced itself from that land and is clearly being abused by people with ulterior agendas. Isn't this corruption when a church's name is dragged to try and swing the land from its rightful owners? What does that make of characters like Charamba, who manufacture stories in defense of criminality? These are specific examples that betray the factional outlook of characters who, instead of advancing national interest, are actually courting favor from those they are priming for a putschist grab of power. We raise these kind of issues for the next person because how many other such details are going on in the shadows? What happens to those who have no access to protection and suffer under the weight of abused offices and power? An inquiry should be done to look into all these issues and characters. Now, Temba Mliswa, I think on this statement, he himself acknowledged that there is absolutely nothing in these papers that he is actually putting that substantiate that indeed retired General Chiwenga was involved in any corruption of some sort. And also something very, very, something very fishy about this is how Temba Mliswa is accessing this document. For example, the one that was written on 12 November 2025, it says, Dear Dave Chenji, subject, clarification regarding land adjacent to Airport Road and Catholic University, St. Martin's area. The subject above refers. Greetings from Zimbabwe Catholic Bishops Conference Secretariat. I write to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated the 22nd of September 2025 and the concerns raised. As the church, we have not shown interest and neither have we been offered the land within the area. We therefore would appeal to you to engage the concerned authorities, namely Government of Zimbabwe and the Harare City, wishing you all God's blessings in the redeeming Christ. These letters, by the way, clears the name of retired General Chiwenga. So whatever, and the letters that he shows, some of them are written by the city council. There is absolutely no trail, and except the story that is trying to push through. That retired General Chiwenga have been conducting secret meetings with the city of Harare with the intention of actually getting land for his church, that is the Roman Catholic. That's how dirty Mnangagwa can be. We know that he was paid by Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa to do so against the man who assisted him to be the president, and now his crime is that he's saying it is my opportunity to also take over. And the man wants to extend his term of office up to 2030. You can see the character that we are dealing with, a very, very highly cunning man. And also the fact that Temba Mliswa still continues with Sapu's eye propaganda. That also entails that the friction between Chiwenga and Mnangagwa continues even up to today. You may see it actually not hitting headlines, but it is something that is happening. That is why you see the paid Temba Mliswas, they are still on duty. They are still working to do Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa's work, which is actually to tarnish or to soil the name of retired General Chiwenga. And also is still taking aim on individuals such as George Charamba, of which this shows that Mnangagwa does not trust some individuals, as much as he may not have evidence that they are on the other side of his camp, because simply they choose not to take side, most probably because they know that there is absolutely no clear winner in this factional fight. Either way, the fight can go either way. That is why some are like George Charamba. They are trying to play very, very smart, but Mnangagwa is not comfortable with someone who is smart. He wants a straightforward person, most probably noting that these are the individuals who did this to Robert Gabriel Mugabe. So he quickly sensed actually the deception that they used to do to Robert Gabriel Mugabe, because he was at the center also of the removal of Robert Gabriel Mugabe, always around Mugabe, whilst at night he was busy scheming against Robert Gabriel Mugabe. So I have stated that not all who seems to be actually smiling at Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, or who seems to be chanting the 2030 term extension slogan louder, they are actually the followers of Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. Some are simply doing so to survive. It's a game of survival, as one of the ladies actually put it, that is Susan Mtani, that with Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, if you want to win him, if you have been smiling every day for him, you have to maintain that posture to him. Otherwise, if you begin to change in front of him, then he begins to be suspicious and get to eliminate you as quickly as possible. So there may be numerous ZANU-PF members who are seemingly chanting the 2030, maybe louder than those loyal to Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, not because these individuals are supporting him. They are just doing it during daylight when in his vicinity, to deceive him. It is actually the concept of appearance. versus reality. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, guess what, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okanqube Umhlabane is signing off. Let me love and leave you. Let's